What's going on, world? Welcome back to another episode of the Legal Report podcast. I keep forgetting to do this before every single episode, but do not forget to like the video. If you're watching us on YouTube, subscribe to us on YouTube, leave a comment as well. And if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, download us and leave a review and a rating. All of that good stuff. Fellas, how y'all been doing the last couple of days? I know Blake mentioned last episode he had a test, and I had a couple of tests, and
I had two. I had both of them Tuesday. They actually went pretty good. I got my one grade back. One of them went pretty good. So.
Yeah. I had a finance test. I think Monday or something like that, and I got like a B on it. But it's for me.
Hey man, B's and above.
Like this semester, bro, really since COVID hit, it's kind of been like, I'm gonna sound messed up to saying this, but it's been like, as long as I'm getting a C or above on these exams, because you think about it, like a C is like a 70%. So it's like, 70% of the material on the test. So it's like,
Hey, man, it's better than getting the F.
Yeah. Carl ain't had no test.
Carl not going to Thanksgiving.
I don't have no test. I took all mine literally like at the end of October. So I don't have any more until I'm coming back for like Christmas. Or next to Christmas, if that makes sense.
Me and Carl finna get this hooping work in tomorrow morning. Before we head out to St.
That's gonna be the weirdest game of one-on-one.
I gotta get my ones with Blake, bro. I gotta get my ones with Blake at some point. All right, last time
waste of time. Don't ball with him.
Last time I played Ty, I beat him, and I beat Carl too. So.
It was because I didn't expect him, because he was lucky that day, bro. He was lucky as hell that day.
Really?
Yes.
All right, bro.
Yes.
He was. I watched that whole game. Nobody was playing 100%. You all literally just throwing the ball.
Yeah.
At the hoop.
At that point, I don't even think I played basketball in months too. Like around senior year, I probably wasn't even playing basketball at all that much.
He over here making all these excuses and all.
You probably.
I ain't played ball in months, man. Come on now.
Ty, you probably beat him. He be lying, So you probably.
Blake don't want to see. Blake don't want to see none of us now, bro. Man, it's a little different now.
I want to. I told y'all I want to.
All right.
Especially not me. I'll tell you.
Carl,
you better tell him.
Carl, you're not.
Ty, you better tell him.
Carl be busting him. Carl, I'm not gonna say what the record is between me and Carl right now, but it's not too good. So
I don't know how you losing to Carl, honestly. Carl got the slow. If I could have edited a video of Carl doing a crossover into this bottom right corner, I would. Carl has the slowest behind the back crossover you will ever see in your life.
Hey,
like you're going in slow motion, like you rewinding the TV, you just saw something.
If the shot going, that's all that matters. I'm pretty sure it's good enough to beat you. So that's good enough for me.
That's how you win the combo. Yeah, bro. Blake was about to ask, but we got Thanksgiving next week. Do y'all have like any plans or anything? Y'all just staying? Are y'all staying in St. Louis or?
Yeah, we staying there. Just dinner with the family.
Okay, yeah.
Hey, what's your favorite Thanksgiving dish?
That's the most cliche question ever. I'm a mac and cheese dude. I'm a mac and cheese dude at the end of the day.
Hey, Carl, we know he a mac and cheese dude.
Yeah.
No. Mac and cheese is good. I don't know. I'm trying to think. You can say yours though. I don't really know.
Carl finna say stuffing.
I love me some turkey.
I don't like stuffing for real.
Yeah.
I don't like stuffing either. I don't like there's a couple of things. I don't like stuffing. I don't like sweet. I don't know. I like sweet potato. What's it called? I don't like yams. I don't like dressing.
What do you like?
Damn, you don't like nothing.
I like greens and macaroni and stuff like that.
You like the sides.
Hey, he about to just say I don't like nothing. He just goes.
That's not the size though. It's people that say they don't like the dressing.
It's true. That dressing is probably the most unlike thing on Thanksgiving. I don't know why we're talking like. We're going to still be able to talk a little bit more about Thanksgiving because we record again on Sunday. Just so y'all know, also viewers, we're just going to record Sunday and for episode on Monday. Then we'll be back that following Sunday. So we'll have a lot of content for y'all next episode. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking I like, when the sweet potatoes next to the mac and cheese, I like when that juice kind of correlate over to that mac and cheese.
What's that? Correlate.
Correlate. My God.
That's just wow. Correlate. So I wanted to do this with you guys because this debate has been going on a little bit right now on social media. And a lot of people are saying Stephen Curry is the best player in the NBA right now. And on Twitter, it's a lot of stuff going on between Steph Curry and Kevin Durant. Those are kind of the two names people are bouncing around. Even I posted my personal top 5 from my Twitter today, and I think I had Kevin Durant over Steph. And we're in a weird point of the season, but I wanted to ask you guys, at this particular point, and we're going to exclude LeBron because obviously he hasn't been playing for the entirety of the year. What would you guys, where your guys' NBA player rankings stand right now? And also, what do you feel personally about I know I'm doubling my questions up here, but what do you feel personally about the Steph Curry argument that he's the best player in the NBA over Kevin Durant? So I know I doubled the questions, but yeah.
I agree. At least the Steph Curry is the best player in the NBA right now. You see what he's doing with that team. Who your next best player is probably Andrew Wiggins, and then after that, I would say Draymond, but he's almost basically carrying that team. I can't really say the same about KD, seeing as the kind of stress they're going on. But I'd have to say Steph, just given what he's been able to do these past couple of weeks, it's been crazy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, the Warriors team is not chopped liver. They got a lot of talent on that team. There's a whole lot of talent. So it ain't like he just playing on a squad of bums or anything, but I don't know. I would probably pick KD. Didn't you say, Ty? Didn't you say you would pick KD too?
Now I'm picking KD for now, but I see the Curry argument. The Curry argument is strong as hell.
Yeah, it makes sense. I just pick KD because I'm always going to pick the dude. If they're neck and neck, I'm always going to pick the dude that's taller. I don't know.
Word, that's how it is.
Yeah, because like when you get defended in like key situations, I feel like the taller dude's always going to come on top.
Yeah, in
these situations like that, especially
it's such a weird way to.
It is, but in the way it's true because when like I don't know when you in some way you can't stop Steph, but you really can't stop Kevin Durant. But in a way, since Steph Curry like 6'3", you can throw multiple people at him and just kind of hope that he's kind of off. But with KD, he's like literally nothing you can do.
Yeah, I've seen defenses, to Carl's point, I've seen defenses kind of throw Steph Curry off before. You know what I mean? The first thing comes to mind is the series against Toronto where they threw that boxing one at him, you know, where he called it a janky defense. Where I've seen people, you have to throw different stuff at Steph Curry with Durant. You know, Durant is this is going to spark a debate, but I say Durant is a tougher cover. Then you also look at Durant's efficiency too. Like the efficiency is off the chain right now. You know, it's not like all of his shots are just like, you look at his efficiency. That's going to sound weird. If you didn't watch basketball, but you understood basketball stats, if you looked at KD's stats, you're going to think he's just a big guy playing around the rim. And that's just not the case. He's taking a lot of mid-range jumpers, all of that. So I think that's what separates him. I think Kevin Durant also defensively is better. But then, like I said, I see the Curry argument, you know, with the team that he's on right now. And in the last couple of seasons, we have seen him, quote unquote, carry a team, right? We saw him do it last year. You know, they didn't really have a reliable second option. There would be some nights where Wiggins did get 20, you know, and then there will be other nights where he get like 15. So I see the Curry argument, but I'm going to run with KD right now. So what were your fives? So I think all of our top fives as of now, is it Kevin Durant and Steph Curry? Are those our first two?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so Blake, after that, who would be your three?
I say Giannis.
Okay.
Especially after last night, he put AD in a torture chamber.
Dude,
goodness, bro.
Did you see how many paint points they gave up? So many paint points. I'm sorry for cutting you off, Carl.
No, you good.
But they gave up a lot of paint points, and then Giannis, I mean, it wasn't like Giannis was raining jumpers. Like last time I saw Giannis dominate the Lakers, y'all remember this game is when he really just started pulling those J's from like three. I remember Carl was texting like it was luck and all of that. But then pretty much everything he did last night came in the paint. So if you're Anthony Davis, ain't no excuse. You know, even last year when they had him, they were like soft in the paint defensively. And this is a guy that a lot of people look at as arguably the best defender in the NBA. So yeah, Giannis torched him 47. I think Giannis would probably be my three as well.
He got to be, bro. He got to be.
When Brian came back and defended Giannis a couple times, you know, them buckets, you know, he wasn't making them. I'm just putting it out there. But no, my three is gonna be Luka. I still believe in Luka. You know, he's that young, putting up them kind of like 27 to 28 points at that age is kind of crazy. But yeah.
And it looks like on top of that, it looks like the Mavs are starting to find their stride. I don't want to go too deep into them because they weren't really on our team's list on our list of topics today, but they look like they're finding their stride. Blake texted the Porzingis stats. I think Carl also said last night the Mavs are a squad now. Did Carl jump the bandwagon today?
Apparently, yeah, no, you know how Carl is.
I'm like Blake. My other team loses, so I'm about to piggy bank on another team right now.
Oh my God.
Until they start winning again, I'm off them right now.
I see Luka. I think Luka would probably be my, you know what? Luka won't be my four. My four would be Jokic right now. My four would be Jokic because you also think about the quote unquote he's carrying a team narrative. Right now, the Nuggets are pretty solid, surprisingly, given the injuries and everything else. They've been great defensively, and he's been the best player on the team that has a lackluster, roster, and they've still been impressive as far as the records go and everything. So I think I go with Jokic at my 4. What about you, Blake? Who would you go with at your 4?
Ooh, I say Jokic too.
Okay.
That's kind of tough. Ooh, that's kind of tough.
Luka or Jokic? Yeah, I mean, it could change like at any point because this is
they're four with them is kind of interchangeable because I have to. If I'm putting Jokic at that 4, then I got to put Luka at 5.
Yeah. Well, so that was your 4. So your 5. So you already mentioned your 5. Yeah, my 5.
Yeah, Luka. Yeah.
And Carl, your 5 would be Jokic, right? Unless you had another.
My 4 would be honest, and then 5 would probably be Joker.
Okay.
Okay. I would put him up there, but the way where'd you put Joker at? Did you put him at what, 3 or 4?
Joker's my 4.
Yeah, I'm assuming the Joker's brothers or something text you, tell them if you ain't at 4, they go do something.
They gonna run up on me? Nah.
They go run up on you.
I mean, run down.
Is there an argument for Jokic over Giannis?
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely, because he's more offensively like just skilled, so I can count on him.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes when you stop Giannis, if you stop him from going to the basket, he's kind of limited, but he showed like you can't though. So I don't.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. So those are our 5. Blake, you had a question last night that I thought was pretty interesting. And while we're on the subject about literally our top 5s and top 10s as we speak right now, you asked the question, is James Harden currently a top 10 player in the NBA?
Mm-hmm. And
Mm-hmm.
then I wanted y'all's opinion on it.
I mean, so let's go through some names, right? Let's go through some names here. And we're going literally right now, based off of the season, we're ranking top 10 players. DeMar DeRozan, would you put DeMar in the top 10 right now over James Harden?
I would. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Zach LaVine, too.
Yeah.
Zach LaVine, too, Carl? Okay, so those are 2 guys. Would you put, let me find another name here, Ja in the top 5 right now, or top 10 right now over James Harden, or is it still kind of like?
I'll put Ja in there. Yeah, that's a definite yes.
Yeah.
Carl, I don't know, because his numbers done dipped. I mean, he's still balling out, but his numbers done dipped a little bit from what we, were accustomed to seeing in the first 2 weeks. But I don't know if I can answer that. That's a hard one for me.
It's a tough one because also too, it looks like he's kind of figuring it out. And I say that, then I go look at like he'll have like 2 or 1 or 2 really good games, and then he'll go right back down to like 18 points or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of weird. I never imagined a season to where James Harden would be averaging under 25 under any circumstance. You know what I mean? Whether he's playing point guard, because some people have tried the argument to say, well, he's playing point, and so now he's more focused on distributing and setting guys up. And I'm like, well, nah, because he played point under D'Antoni, and those were some of his best seasons. He almost won MVP as a starting point guard when Russ won the MVP award. So it's kind of like, I didn't really get that argument. But it's tough right now. I think that's why the question is weird, is because it's literally as we speak, who's the top 10. He'll get it right at some point, but I think I go with DeRozan over him. I think I give LaVine a look over him. I'm trying to think of some other names. What are some other guys you can possibly, Devin Booker, maybe, you can possibly.
Chris Paul,
that fake tough guy. You talking about Devin Booker?
Not Chris Paul.
Come on,
no.
Lead the assist.
But he's averaging like 14 points.
No, bro.
Nah.
Chris Paul.
Remember they tried the MVP thing last year? He was averaging like 16 points or whatever.
If Steve Nash won it, if they would have won the final, come on now, if Steve Nash won it, then
they don't.
He had to have been in the conversation.
They don't look at the league the same anymore, though.
Yeah, true. You know what? I'm looking through these teams and I can't really. Harden's still top 10. I'm looking through these teams, and even though, because it just seems blasphemous to say some names over them, it just seems ridiculous, right? Like
who?
Like, I mean, like, what if I was to say Donovan Mitchell, or Jimmy Butler? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, you could argue.
I wouldn't be mad if you said Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking about it now. Yeah. I mean, yeah, he's still in that. He's still in that top 10. Anthony Davis.
I don't know, man. Anthony Davis, he been playing a little too soft lately.
80's suspect, bro. 80's game is a little suspect at this point.
I know he's been getting hurt a lot, but still.
Yeah.
That boy got outplayed.
I think it's one game. Calm down. It's one game. Next game, AD will put 40 on him, and y'all flip it the other way. So just calm down. But I think him and James Harden have the same problem. I don't think they're in shape, if I'm being honest.
I agree. They just don't look like their normal selves. You know what I mean?
No.
I think that's what the issue is. People really do forget Harden is still recovering from an injury. We discussed it a couple of episodes ago. He wasn't. He really shouldn't have been playing in the playoffs last year, and he did. He never since.
I told you when they did. I said that's the stupidest decision the organization has ever made outside of KD playing. When he got hurt and pushing him onto the floor when he was with Golden State.
Oh, you talking about in general? Okay, yeah, no, yeah.
I'm
true.
just comparing. It.
Yeah, no, yeah, for sure. And then it just seems like since the spring, he just hasn't been the same. He's shown glimpses of it. And then we tried the foul thing. We had that conversation a couple weeks ago. And you look at his games, and he's just missing shots that he normally make. So I think it could be shape. It could be just not having rhythm, and it just could be the injury thing. Could be a combination of all of those things. So hopefully he's able to figure it out at some point. But I think we've kind of put to rest the idea that he's the best offensive player of all time, because you can't have a. I mean, like I said, it's still early. Way too early. Dame is shooting like 33%, so that's how it's early as hell. But I don't know. He'll pick it up at some point, but I'm not. You can't be the best offensive player in the world or of all time and then have a start to the season like this, because it's just been too inconsistent. So that's kind of my thoughts on it.
Yeah, you probably can't be a month what we in, like a month into the season, month and a half.
Yeah, pretty much.
A month. You can't be a month into the season and be the best offensive player ever and have kind of struggling to score 20 when you're like one of the most gifted basketball players ever.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. Shout out to Harden, but hopefully he picks it up. I think I'll keep him in that top 10. It's just too many guys. It's too many guys. If I name them, I'm gonna sound like Ja. I'm gonna sound stupid naming them over James Harden.
That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't necessarily, but it's something with the energy of that team seems off to me too. Even though their record is good, it's just like when I watch them play, I don't know if they enjoy playing, if that makes sense.
There are a bunch of
Stephen A made a good point about how energy-wise, I think like the arena, the fans really they're not really, they're not really into it. So
Carl, a lot of it is we're not going to get into the vaccine talk, but a lot of it's the Kyrie thing. Since that happened, it just seems like everything is just weird right now in Brooklyn. I don't know, there's just not been rhythm, and it's not even like we had this conversation. People act like just not having Kyrie makes this team not a contender anymore. They still have the two of some of the most skilled offensive players ever played this game, and it's just, I think a lot of it is the rhythm is off. And then it just, there's a bunch of different stuff being thrown at them. There are injuries, right? Claxton, who's arguably their best defender, has been out. Then Joe Harris, I think is Joe Harris going to be out for a little bit? Or am I tripping? Yeah,
he's been missing stuff anyway.
Joe Harris been decent this year. He's been decent, but it's just something off. I definitely agree with that. And hopefully they figure it out. But I think a lot of it kind of stems from the offseason issues with Kyrie and all of that. And then even there are these rumors coming out that Harden's pissed or whatever with the entire situation. I don't know how much I believe him.
That's Stephen A spreading that confusion.
Yeah, because didn't he say today? He said Kevin Durant should. He said it today or yesterday that Kevin Durant should request a trade or something like that.
He said it. It was yesterday. I think some of these reporters this is how I think they think. They come up with stuff in their head, and I'm so serious. I think they lie on national television.
I agree.
I swear.
I agree. There was a thing about Colin Sexton. We talked about this a couple weeks ago too. Remember they said Sexton was a bad teamate, and then all of his teammates were like, all of his teammates were like, no, he's not. You know what I mean? To be making stuff up. So, I don't know I don't know if it's anything like chemistry wise or whatever, because he did want to go here. It'll look bad on him if he does end up wanting to get traded, because we remember what he did to get the hell out of Houston. Now you want to go to a better situation and play with another superstar and then act like that's not a good environment for you. You know what I mean? As far as trying to win a championship, you're not going to get to another situation where you're playing with the Kevin Durant. You know what I mean? It's just not going to happen. So this is the best situation for him. He's got to be able to figure it out.
Yeah, they probably just need to unleash my boy from LSU, Cam Thomas,
Yeah.
So he can get in that rookie of the year ladder, so he can get up there. But, they don't want to see him win.
They've been tagging him in garbage minutes, man. I mean, I think maybe they played him a little bit against Golden State. I can't remember. They did,
but it was when the game was out of reach.
Yeah. We kind of knew that too. We talked about it. Yeah. It was kind of like, he gonna get Yeah. Hopefully Harden gets it right. This is probably the third episode we talk about James Harden. Hopefully he gets it right though. And like I said, he's showing some rhythm. And also too, it's not like the efficiency is off. He just looks off, but it's not like he's not shooting it well. He's still doing some of the other things you want to do as far as distributing and everything like that. He's hit some clutch buckets this year. So it's been glimpses that he's going to get back to his normal self. And like I said, as we look at those last couple of games, it looks like he's headed back into the right direction. But as I mentioned, we've seen him have a couple good ones, then go right back to it. So who knows what happens from here? So
he just looks sluggish, bro. Really sluggish.
Yeah, for sure. And to me, like I said, it's not an excuse that Kyrie is not there. That's not an excuse. That's not a valid excuse at all to me. Considering who you guys have got. But they're going to be fine. They still have a really good bench. We've seen their role players play really well. LaMarcus Aldridge is a guy that no one's really talking about. He's been amazing off the bench. You think about his storyline last year was out because of what? Was it a heart issue? And then now he comes right back to this team and he's a very valuable piece off the bench. It isn't like he's coming in the game and he's just a body. Like he's coming in, knocking down shots. He played really well in the fourth quarter, late in the game last night against, I forgot who they played last night, but he played really well late in that game. So LaMarcus Aldridge has been a big piece. So if Kyrie ends up coming back or when this team starts to get into the swing of things and find their rhythm, they're going to be just fine. But I really like to play their role players. Joe Harris has been somewhat efficient. Bruce Brown's been great as their quote unquote starting center. So there's that entire.
How tall is he?
He's like 6'5", but they play him. They play him like they just have him sitting in the paint, running pick and roll through him, and all of that stuff. So, hopefully Brooklyn. I can't say that. Hopefully they figure it out because it's kind of. They've had a little momentum. They did lose to Golden State at home, which was kind of embarrassing, but it looks like they're almost figuring stuff out.
That was kind of a Steph Curry masterclass.
They compete. They competing with your team, the Wizards.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we came off a loss last night. We lost to the Hornets, bro, in Charlotte. I think
that was a good game. That was a big.
That was a good game. I think Dinwiddie though had Dinwiddie's been kind of iffy because Dinwiddie hasn't had a lot of dominant games. I don't know. He may have scored under 5 points in 30 minutes last night. Okay, see, I don't know what that was about.
Hey, just a bad game. A bad game. It's probably because Mike was in there on that bench yelling at people for no reason.
Mike be looking crazy.
They go. Come
on. Osby about to pop out his head.
Speaking of teams and their last couple of games, Phoenix has won their last 10. Last night, they're coming off of a win against the Mavericks. It was a Luka Doncic-less Mavericks team, but they got a win. Devin Booker came up big in the fourth quarter. Defensively, they've been pretty much the same team we saw them last year. Offensively, there's still some ways we want to see them go. They're not ranking super high in offensive rating right now. We remember last season, as far as offensive rating goes, they were probably at the top of the league in both offensive rating and defensive rating at the same time. Now their defensive rating is way higher. I think they're second or third in defensive rating. It's way higher than what it is on the offensive side of the game. And they've been an efficient team. I think they're top 3 in the league as far as field goal percentage goes. And they're one of the clutchest teams in the NBA once again, like we saw last season. Carl, with everything going on in the Western Conference, with Klay potentially coming back and maybe LeBron, the Lakers figuring it out, are you buying into the Phoenix hype? Because there are some people who will say last year was a fluke, and when everybody's back and everybody's back. Yeah, Carl, you were saying that. So are you buying into the Phoenix hype? And it's going to sound weird to say considering they were a team that got to the finals, but do you think, judging off of what you've seen, they can replicate what they did last season, within the West where everybody's pretty much hopefully going to be back and healthy?
Yeah, I think they can definitely replicate it because they just got that, they kind of built that camaraderie with each other just to know how each other play going to the finals like this. So I think just the chemistry they built last year of being a young team with a veteran like Chris Paul really helped them. Mm-hmm. So I think they can definitely replicate that if they just, say they're number 1 seed or 2 seed when they can face, the 8th or 7th seed, a little easier teams, and you got to face that harder team in the Western Conference Finals or something. But yeah, I definitely think now they could have won the finals to me if they kind of got out coached. I think they
very true.
Right there.
It was literally right there. Yeah. So we're basically
literally, if you just looked at what was on the floor, and if people in the stands can see what you might need to change, and you didn't, that probably mean you got out coached.
Yeah, sure. What about you, Blake? Are you buying? You're a Phoenix. You're I can't say you're a Phoenix fan, but you're somewhat.
I'm a Chris Paul.
Chris Paul.
Yeah.
I think they're starting to hit their stride. They had a little bit of a rocky start at the beginning, but we started at the same thing last year, and look what happened.
Yep.
I'm not saying it's still gonna happen, but the path back to the finals is looking a bit easier. We don't know if the Lakers.
Okay, he may have a point. He may have a point. We don't know
if the Lakers are going to. Who knows? They might. I'm not saying they won't, but we don't know if they'll figure everything out. Right now, it looks like a total dumpster fire. But I don't know. I don't know how that's going to turn out. Utah, they've been kind of.
Yeah, Utah's been iffy.
Utah picked it up.
Yeah.
Portland,
you think so?
Denver.
Denver ain't doing nothing.
The only real threat I see is probably Golden State. And Golden State and maybe Dallas.
But then to respond to what you said, I see what you're saying, but I don't think the path is harder because, like, think about who they played in the West Finals. They played.
I said easier.
He said easier.
Easier. You think that their path is easier this season than last season? I doubt it because last season it was. Yeah, I don't know about that. because now you have.
It's just some things that have to continue. I'm saying right now it's looking like it's that path.
Okay.
I like I said, I think they built a lot of great chemistry with each other, like experiencing what happened last season. But the fact that you have to go through the Warriors and they're playing good right now with Klay and James Wiseman, I just don't see it being easier. And then the Mavericks look better than they did last year at this point too. So
yeah, even with the Lakers playing like shit and Kawhi not being there, that path does look a lot harder. Like you think about who they played in the West Finals last year. They played a Kawhi-less Clippers team, and it took them how many games to beat them? Like 6, right? How many games did they? Yeah, so the path is definitely more difficult, but to kind of offset that, there were some moves that they made. Remember DeAndre Ayton was out for a set amount of games, and that's kind of when their win streak got popping. And a lot of that could be could be accredited to JaVale McGee's presence. He was great as a backup center, and you guys talked about it a lot last year that they needed size outside of DeAndre Ayton. They needed a big guy who's going to be able to get it done on both ends, whether it's the pick and roll or just defending the rim on defense. They needed a guy like that, and he did just that when Ayton was out. So now Ayton's back in the roster, back in the lineup. It kind of looks like they're getting him some more touches and they're trying to get him more of an opportunity to show off his full skill set as Carl always wants to see. And also too, Landry Shamet, who had a great game last night against the Mavericks, and he's a piece off the bench that they didn't have, great 3-and-D player, all of that. We know what Cam Payne is going to bring to the table. We know, when Cam Johnson wants to have big games, he can go and do that. So to offset kind of the point that the West got a little bit more difficult, now they have a lot more depth. A lot more talent off the bench, especially when it comes down to size.
Experience too.
Yeah, for sure. Exactly. Because Blake, you mentioned it a lot. Last year, they kind of just got to the finals. And there were 2 young teams that went deep that kind of just found themselves there. And they were like, I didn't know we could do this. It was Atlanta and it was Phoenix. You know what I mean? And so now you got Cam Payne's got finals experience and Devin Booker's got finals experience and DeAndre Ayton's got finals experience. So yeah. And that's one thing that does set them apart, whether we think Dallas is a better regular season team than them or not when it's all said and done. What separates them is, Devin Booker's played on the highest stage. Chris Paul has played on the highest stage. DeAndre Ayton's played on the highest stage. With Porzingis on the other end, who's their second option, we don't even know how great of a playoff player he is yet because he's either just not available or he's just not playing well in that first round that he's always in and out of. So.
Yeah, I believe in Kristaps Porzingis. Now I'm with him now.
Yeah,
I'm with him. He keep playing like this. Him and Luka. He averaged about. If Porzingis averaged about 25 points, Luka averaged 28, and say Tim Hardaway averaged about 20, they good.
I want to go. I'm glad you brought him up because I want to make a quick run over. Blake made the tweet today about Porzingis' last 4 games. He's averaging 26 a game over his last 4, 26 per game, 10 rebounds, 2 blocks. On 50% field goal percentage and 44% 3 and 93% free throw percentage. It should be able to stay up around there. That's the type of player he is. That's the talent he has. He was drafted very highly in that draft to New York because of that. He was an all-star before. He didn't play in the game, but he was an all-star. Those are the numbers he should be able to put up night in and night out, and kind of revisiting what we said about Jason Kidd. We did this a couple games to the season. We talked about Kidd and the Mavericks offense. It looked iffy, and then we weren't really confident that he was going to get Kristaps Porzingis. What were you gonna say?
I would. Well, no, I'm not gonna say I was confident. I was just saying wait and see because I wasn't sure.
Yeah. Carl's been the most. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna talk about another topic. Carl's been the most reasonable with it because he's always like, we'll just wait and see because it's early. I think Blake and I
that's surprising. That's very surprising.
Ain't that something though? It's not reverse. Ain't that something that's not reversed?
Yeah, because me and Blake are always like I think I'm the overreact guy because I just.
Yeah, you. I mean,
I think
kind of, sort of. Sometimes
I think I am.
You think so?
Yeah, because look, somebody play bad and I want to cut him or something and get rid of their contract.
Yeah. That's just negativity.
But that's also, but Carl, your thing is you'll do it while you're watching the game. And then I know, like, okay, it's out of anger. Like, if it's his favorite team, he just saying, dude, yeah.
Oh, you remember that the game, the Lakers, who did they face? The Suns? That was probably the worst one. That was like 3 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you was
Carl went on another one of his little tirades.
We was on FaceTime. Weren't we on FaceTime?
Yeah. I said, man, trade this whole team. I wouldn't even keep LeBron.
You don't remember this.
Carl wasn't too happy when he was seeing it.
I don't know if you remember this, but it was when this had me in tears. Had me and Blake in tears damn near. We was on the phone. This was during the West Finals when the Lakers got eliminated. The game the Lakers got eliminated. Remember Jay Crowder got ejected and he like ran out to the locker room and started doing the salsa. We was laughing. Carl was like, man, shut your ass up.
Bro, man, Carl was man. Carl was mad.
I remember.
Y'all over there crying. Ain't even that funny. Yeah, dude. I think, but Carl has been like, let's kind of wait and see. But then with the Mavs thing, it was kind of like we weren't confident because we weren't confident in Porzingis' health. And so when you have guys unhealthy, it's going to be tough for a new coach to kind of figure out how to get him going in that offensive system, but he's been able to do it. He's put him on the block a lot more. He's attacking out of the mid-range. He's rim running at times too. He's still taking those deep three-pointers, but there's just a lot more diversity in his offensive game right now. There's a lot more motion too on the offensive end. There's a lot more movement. They're running. Motion. Yep, they got him in motion, but they're stupid. But they have Luka. But they have Luka off the ball a lot. There are some flashes of what Luka did in his rookie year. We remember he was kind of a 2 in that first year playing alongside with Dennis Smith Jr. And so it kind of seems like kids blending that together with what Rick Carlisle did after Dennis Smith Jr. left. So there's a lot more diversity right now in their offense. And I'm just more confident in their all-around production. Carl, mentioned Tim Hardaway Jr. and Jalen Brunson. We even talked about it today in the chat. We talked about, we always talk about, even last episode, the Mavs need a second option. And Blake was like, well, with Porzingis putting these numbers up and with some of these guys, these role players playing like this, do they need to trade for a second option? Like, if they can keep this up, do they need to still go try to get somebody at the deadline?
No. I don't think so.
Yeah, no, probably not. But if you feel like you can, and you feel like as a team, you feel like you need to, just excluding what everybody else think. If you feel like as a team, you need to do it. But I don't think they need to. If Porzingis is going to keep playing as well, but you also can strengthen the strength. If you can do it, why not?
Why not? If you got the pieces to do it. So yeah, but they've been in really good shape. I know they lost last night, but even they kept it competitive against the streaking Suns team without their best player, so they kept it competitive up to like really late in that fourth quarter. And there were just times when I saw Porzingis with the ball and I was like, oh, he kind of looks like that confident Porzingis that we saw in New York, where he's confident being like a first option or whatever you want to call him on offense.
Working.
He was working, yeah. He's attacking. Like, it just looks like his court presence is better. Like, he's attacking smaller guards too. Like, when he gets a mismatch, he's going right at him. He's shooting it over him, or he's putting his shoulder in their chest or whatever. So it's great to see Porzingis back like this.
Yeah, if you notice though, them 7-foot dudes that are like athletic or even that can shoot, that goes to Anthony Davis and Joel Embiid. They never stay healthy because they're just so big.
Yeah,
and I feel like they probably grew too fast, and their bones just never really, fully grew to their body. So they always stand hurt.
And it's also, it's also the weight they put on their legs when they're running up and down the court. You know what I mean? Like Shaq.
Yeah.
Shaq was like 300-something pounds, but still, it's the weight and or Hakeem. These guys always have lower body issues. Zion, another example. So Carl's gonna start laughing.
Come on, Carl.
He's 7 feet though.
Carl, come on, man.
Yeah, but because the only one I can think of that really hasn't had injury problems is like Joker. As far as big man goes, what's another one? That's probably it.
Gobert, your favorite big man, right?
Yeah, Gobert.
You see how I slipped that in there, Carl?
Yeah, all he do is cry though. But yeah, crying because he ain't make no All-Star team. Man,
bro, come on, man. He's passionate.
Coach, I didn't make the All-Star team. Oh, crying. But I'm just playing. Yeah, that's probably it though.
Yeah. I mean, let me think here. Damn, that may just be about it. As far as big men we can remember in recent, because even I mean, Dwight's issues weren't really lower body issues, right? Back.
He was just back.
Yeah.
He has some. Yeah, he has some back issues.
Yeah.
Back.
Did Dirk have a lot of it? I know Dirk was more before, but did Dirk have a lot of issues injury wise?
No, I mean he might have had occasional like ankle, but nothing like to keep him out.
He just got old.
He just got old because he's staying on the perimeter most of the time anyway. So he was cool. Yeah.
True, very true. That's shout out to Pheonix. It's good to see him back in shape. And hopefully they can keep the streak going.
It's not good. I want to see the win.
Why do you keep hating on Pheonix, dog?
Bro, when the team beats your team, you're not gonna dislike them. That's just how sports work.
You gotta have that pride, bro. You gotta have that pride.
Because I'm gonna keep
Carl. I don't know about that. Because Carl, you talking about disliking teams? This borderline hatred.
No, because look, we was gonna beat them. We was beating them 2-1 in the 2 games we won. We blew them out. We was gonna beat them.
That was pitiful. That may have been one of the most pitiful playoffs. I literally watched it like I can't believe LeBron got first rounded like this.
It was pretty bad.
I almost threw a party.
I know you did. Because I just know the way we dominated those first 2 games we won, and then we lost that one. But then the way we kept losing, it was like.
And then you lost.
It is what it is. It is what it is. We gonna be holding up. A championship. No, listen. I wouldn't say this year. 2000, maybe 25. I don't know.
Only thing y'all holding up is a bucket of chicken at the next Christmas party. That's what y'all holding.
Let me ask you, Carl. Let me ask you this. Important question.
Okay.
First, on a scale of a set of questions, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest level of worry, how worried are you of your Lakers squad right now?
I can't wait to hear this.
About a 2. I ain't worried because going into the season, I didn't expect high expectations right off the bat. I said I ain't gonna really know how good this team is probably to after Christmas or near the New Year.
Right.
So I'm not really worried yet. Only thing I'm worried about is Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
I'm worried because he had his game last night wasn't that bad. He didn't turn the ball over that much, but it's just the fact that he keeps trying passes that's not going to work.
He does a lot of stuff. I'm not even going to spend too much time complaining about him, but he did just a lot of stuff that doesn't even – remember the thing where he dribbled in the post and he lost? You
can't defend it. Literally. Yeah. It's no way – he lost – I'm going to explain to everybody why. He lost control of dribbling of the ball, and he tried to trick the ref and think he was dribbling. He was just rolling it back and forth, and then he shot it. He
been on crack. I don't know what he been on.
That should have been a violation.
Somebody I think on my main page, I saw they a Lakers fan, and they posted a picture of him. They said the main thing: if you want the Lakers to win, don't let him get the ball. And that was hilarious, bro.
But impressive thing though is THT. While we're shitting on the Lakers, THT's been getting it in. He's been looking like their best player since he came back into the roster. I mean, he's knocking down long range jumpers. He's getting to the rim. His long range shot looks a lot better than what it did last year. And we kind of talked about, we talked about if we trust him as a shooter over the offseason, he's shooting it at a pretty good percentage so far. It looks like the range is there, the confidence is there. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm really not worried about Taylor Horton Tucker. That's his name. I'll be forgetting how I said it. But yeah, I'm not worried about their offense. I'm worried about their defense. Their defense kind of sucks.
There's no excuse for that. There's no excuse because even last year there was a point in time where they sucked on defense. How do you have Anthony Davis on your roster and you're getting they got killed in the paint last night? And AD is the dude that we all know as the best rim protector in the NBA or whatever. And you have some of the best rim protectors in the NBA with Dwight Howard and DeAndre.
He doesn't want to get down there and play.
Yeah, I mean, he was down there, but Giannis muscled him, right? Giannis got down there and scored. He was getting scored on, So it was inexcusable from a guy that you look at as your primary defender. You know what I mean? But we also did kind of know they lost a lot defensively, and that was still a question from a lot of Lakers fans. So I think we saw that one coming too.
I still wish we kept some way a couple seasons ago, kept JaVale McGee. I think he helped us out a lot.
Big time.
Playing defense in the paint. But, Anthony Davis, he a little nicked up. He was sick last week. He had a little stomach bug. He'll be back. Y'all got to slow it down.
Yeah.
He's still top 5 talent. He might not show it every night, but he'll be back. Give him about to mid-season, he'll be averaging about 27.
Think so?
He'll get it up. Yeah.
And LeBron will be back like Friday. So
you a little too optimistic about your boys, Carl. But hey.
Yeah, I don't know. Now LeBron's
been doing it when he's healthy. LeBron's been doing his thing though.
He has, but the seasons with the Lakers, even like after the bubble, he had spurts where I'm be like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah,
or whatever.
Yeah. We kind of talked a little bit about it, but I do want to revisit some hot takes that not even hot takes, but some predictions we had before the season that didn't age well. I have a lot on my mind right now. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to revisit it. We're going to name a take that we had or like a prediction at the beginning of the season, and we're going to react to it right now. This was probably my worst take. Maybe my worst. Remember, I don't know if y'all remember this, but we did like stat predictions. And we said like top 5 in points, top 5 in 3-point percentage. I said Murphy, the rookie, was about to be top 5 in 3-point percentage. I don't know where he's ranked at right now, but it ain't top 5.
He's nowhere near top 5.
Yeah,
top 30.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's that. He's shooting it. God man, he's averaging 5 points a game. He's averaging 5 points on 33% shooting. Now, yeah. Now those numbers aren't horrible. But those aren't top 5. I don't know what it was that made me think top 5. Maybe that was kind of like my bold one because you always gotta have a bold prediction, you know. So
it is, it is what it is.
Yeah, Blake,
I put it out there. I don't know.
Right, Blake, you had a couple while you're laughing. You had a couple, and I'm waiting for you to address it. I say it for him. He said the Rockets were going to be a playoff team, and right now they're arguably the worst.
They have one win.
They've been bad, and to me, it's almost like. For me with the Rockets, it's not that it's just because they're a young team. You shouldn't be. It's a lot of BS going on, you know.
I didn't think it was going to be that bad.
Yeah,
I don't know why laughing. They won in 15, but no.
I mean that's still hilarious though. Even though I like it, I didn't know it was going to be that bad. That's terrible.
Yeah, it is.
They go get Steven Silas fired.
I think so. Rockets fans hate Steven Silas. You know, they don't like. They don't like how I think they don't like his game management. They don't like some of the rosters and the guys or some of the lineups he's running with. I mean, he's a young coach, right? This is still his first time head coaching, right?
You can't blame this on him, man.
Yeah.
You can't. Just like last year, I saw they was trying to blame last year on him. Look at the team he was working with.
Yeah.
Look at what he was working. You can't blame. Give him at least
4,
2, 3 more years, and if they still suck, then maybe make a decision. But come on, it's been 2 years, man. Come on.
Now if they end up 1-81, I'm firing that dude.
Yeah,
if they go 1-81, I don't know. I'll dye my hair pink or something.
Yeah.
Or blue.
I don't know if I've probably ever seen. I don't know. Has there been worse starts than this to start off a season?
I don't remember what their start was at this point. But the worst team in NBA history is probably the 2011 Bobcats.
Probably Bobcats.
Yeah.
Because we're at a point where dudes can play like probably almost 15 to 16 games, and you have 1 win.
Yeah. And I'll say this though, there have been some games where they've been close, so there's still something to be somewhat optimistic about. The talent is still there. You know, I think we talked about it last episode. We're not really confident in Kevin Porter Jr. as a point guard right now. The turnovers are there. Jalen Green's still figuring stuff out. They're just figuring stuff out. And but your take was they're going to be a playoff team. But I think Carl said it. You can't be that young of a team and be a playoff team. There's just not any experience there. You know,
that was my whole point when we made it like last month. I was just like, I've never seen these dudes. They're rookies. I've never even seen them play with their new teammates. So I can't just say, yeah, they're going to make the playoffs. I can't.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. I had another take. I said Doug McDermott. After they got him from Indiana, I said Doug McDermott was going to average just under 20 with San Antonio. Now his minutes are up. I'm not sure if he's a starter. I got to go back and watch my San Antonio highlights.
He starts sometime.
Okay. And he's lower than what he was last season. He's at 10 points a game. I don't know. I think it was he had a lot of momentum from Indiana last year off the bench. Would have been a 6th man of the year candidate, possibly, maybe top 5, maybe if I'm not tripping, if they would have made it. Like if they would have not, they got first round in the play-in, right? They lost to Charlotte in the play-in. Maybe it would have been a little different, but coming from, a year where he averaged 13, 14 off the bench and shot it very well, and coming to a team that is young, in San Antonio, that's still trying to establish the first. They still don't have a first option on the offensive end. So you think I just thought they were going to be something nice where Doug McDermott was just going to flat out be the best player. since they're still trying to figure stuff out, and that just hasn't been the case. But it's not no, I'm losing sleep over. I'm not losing sleep over the Trey Murphy take or the
Yeah, I mean, those are just like, like throw something in the bucket and hope it sticks.
Yeah. Now you did mention the Spurs. I've never said this, but I kind of do wish to see, like, I want to see DeJounte Murray just take a step. I'm like tired of seeing him like being stagnant.
He's definitely not stagnant.
But I feel like he should be. I feel like he should be averaging 25 points with that talent to me.
Okay.
That's how I view it.
Okay.
I don't know about 25 now.
That's his upside, but I think that's okay. But he did make a leap. He did make a major leap from last season to this season, offensively. So he'll get there at some point. I do think his upside is 25 a game. I don't know if he's going to reach it right now. You know what I mean?
He better if he want them to make playoffs, because they ain't gonna make anytime soon if they don't get some more scoring somewhere.
Now I did hear they was kind of floating a Kyrie trade package over there.
We'll not talk about that. Ain't gonna
I'm just saying what I heard, but
still, it would make sense to trade Kyrie.
Yeah, I don't know if you think 25 really?
That's his upside. I think he's got 25 point a game upside, but he made a 4-point leap.
Yeah, but I expect I just have higher expectations from him.
Okay. I mean,
how many points did he have?
19 points, 46% shooting, 8 assists, 8 rebounds.
Yeah, that 8 assists, I want to see point production, because that's what the Spurs are lacking. So I want to see him average 25. I know that's 10-point increase. That's crazy, but people done it before.
Nah, that's not.
Carl trying to see some.
I think that's too high. I think that's way too high. And also, what Spurs point guard has ever under Popovich averaged over like 18 a game?
That's probably true, but he probably need to change that. That's probably why they stuck now.
I mean, because they're a team full of young. They're like a team. They're still a developing team. I don't expect anything out of a team that looks like they're trying to figure everything out. So I like Murray. I think Murray is also a legit candidate for most improved too. So yeah.
Maybe my expectations were too high.
I think a little too high. Yeah. His upside is 25 points a game. I think that the from 15 to 25 is pretty extreme. I'm trying to think. Carl, you had some takes. I know we're missing some. Were there some takes? Because you may be the only one who didn't have any bad predictions, because you were kind of like the whole time, as you mentioned, you were kind of like, we'll wait and see. So were there any takes that me and Blake that you picked up from us that we missed?
Oh yeah, Blake had the Rockets, but I don't know if you mentioned the Pistons. You had a little.
I did say the Pistons.
Yeah, I think you had something about the Pistons.
Yeah. Let me see what they're at right now. It's not good.
I think they got 4 wins, maybe.
Yeah. Let me see here. Okay, damn. Yeah, they got 4 wins. They're 14th in the East. Yeah, they're not going to make the playoffs. Yeah,
hey, it's good to be optimistic though.
Yeah, I mean, these are still just because they're young teams and they don't have great records. We know that's going to happen when you're a young team that's still developing. We just know it's going to happen. So maybe I thought, because I don't know why I thought it. I think they had so many great young players from last year in Sadiq Bey and Isaiah Stewart, and I trusted them defensively. When me and Blake kind of had those arguments about the Rockets versus the Pistons, I think the Pistons defense put them over the top a little bit more. And also, too, they're in the East. You know, the East is an easier conference to slip like in a play-in spot relative to the Western Conference. I think that's why my Pistons prediction, you know, was kind of there last year, but obviously it's not working. Who knows, though? They can hit a stride. You know, K's been amazing. Who knows? You never know.
Yeah. I know. I don't think they go. They'll win some. They'll have some quality wins against good teams. That happen. But I'm trying to think if it's anything I really said though.
I mean, I had a Wizards. You guys, I said a couple episodes ago, you guys were more optimistic.
The Wizards. Yeah, that's surprising.
Oh, okay, yeah. But I said the Wizards is going to be the 4th or 5th. They're even better. They're like 1. They'd be going between 1 and 2 now with the Nets. But
you guys were pro Wizards, and I mean, I'm a Wizards fan, but I was less optimistic about the Wizards. I said it was going to be a year where they were going to be bad, and I said they were going to make. I mean, I thought at some point we're going to end up talking about Beal getting traded again. Not, you know, have those conversations. We're going to come back up, but that's not the case. They've been great, solid, not amazing statistically or really on any end, but they're a really well balanced out team. They get great all around production. So I say my Wizards take was a little rough because I wasn't as optimistic as you guys were. I was definitely thinking this team was like this directionless team and everything. And now that I look at it, it just looks like a place where guys are just trying to reinvent themselves and figure everything else out for themselves and all that, like Montrezl Harrell or Kyle Kuzma. We're still waiting for Dinwiddie to kind of hit his stride, but this is kind of an environment for him to maybe turn back into that all-star self that we knew he could be back in Brooklyn, before Kyrie got there. So I say my Wizards take was a little rough. I think those are all my bad takes so far. I think those are it. There may be some other ones out there.
I can't remember anything else anybody said for real.
There were definitely like overreactions like at the beginning of the season, but those aren't really like Yeah, there were definitely overreactions, but yeah. I think was there anything else y'all wanted to cover today? I mean, were there any other hot takes or anything that we had that you guys didn't pick up on?
Oh, I think we did all. I think that main one, James. I think we did all of them, really.
Yeah.
Who said something? Did somebody say something about Giannis?
We did talk about Giannis's jump shot. I think I said Giannis.
Yeah.
That's another bad take. I said Giannis was gonna take a major leap as far as shooting goes because remember the preseason where we talked about his form and it looked different, and then it's kind of back to what it used to be, and then it's not like he's. I mean, I'm gonna look at his 3-point shooting numbers.
Would y'all call it like a major leap though?
No, I thought it was going to be a major leap, and it wasn't.
He thought it wasn't. It wasn't because I was the one saying unless he changes his form a little bit, he's never going to be a reliable jump shooter. Then it looked like he changed it, so I was starting to think, but now I'm like, no, he's
been 30% from three, pretty much the last 4 or 5 seasons.
I'll let him shoot that every day.
Yeah. But then there was something to work from because obviously he won the Finals MVP and obviously we saw what he did in the preseason. And then it does like there are some parts of his jump shot where he's figuring it out. Like I think he's better. I think he's better as a mid-range shooter, and I think that's just where his game is at. He likes shooting that turnaround jumper from like the left baseline. That's like his thing. He does a lot now. And he makes it at a pretty solid rate. So maybe he's just not a 3-point shooter. Maybe that's the thing.
It might just be, I think his release point is too late. Like if he was with 2K, his meter would be like yellow or red.
He's hard to shoot with on 2K. He's hella hard to shoot.
He can't shoot.
Right. I guess that makes sense, right? I think those were the takes. The Giannis one, at least we had something to work from with the Giannis one because I remember seeing in the preseason, I was like, oh, he may switch it up. I sent it to y'all. I sent it to Carl. At least Carl wasn't buying into it. I think Blake was a little bit, but
I was a little bit because I was optimistic about it.
Yeah,
he'll be fine.
I was starting to buy into it the first couple games he played. I forgot the first couple games, but whoever he was playing against, I think one was the Pistons. His jump shot looked like it looked in the preseason.
Yeah.
And then it dropped right back down. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah. The point that he's been like 30% over the last 5 years is crazy to me, but he knows how to attack his strengths and you got to appreciate it. And as we said before, when we talked about the finals in those mock episodes, y'all remember those days, we said, man. We said we always said the reason he's great is because he knows how to get to his spots and he knows his strengths. And being a smart player, they made this point on the shop, on like the very first episode of the shop. Being smart is understanding what you're good at and what you're not good at. That's one major part of being smart. And he understands what he excels at and he understands what he's not good at, and he's gonna work at his strengths. So
that's the main thing. Hey, that's the main thing, man.
Stop the kiss. They always do is kiss. You know who? But when LeBron,
kiss LeBron.
That's all that show is. LeBron ain't been on.
I'm glad you see it for what it is. A bunch of grown men.
I see it. No, I agree.
High chairs. They all circled around LeBron, praising him. Oh, LeBron, you're great.
That's not true.
They're not even getting their haircut. They barely get their haircut.
They just sitting there.
It's not even
playing with the Clippers.
It's the room. It's the room.
I think we were saying Aiden was going to get more. He was going to shoot more threes, but he really hasn't been shooting them. He started off shooting them, but now I don't even know if Monty Williams lets him shoot them anymore because he hasn't shot any the last 5 games.
He's kind of a TBD on that because he's been hurt. I'm gonna wait to see what happens. We did say that. I'll wait to see what happens with his threes. Let me see what he's been taking right now as far from deep.
He ain't been taking none the last 5.
Looks like I've seen he's taking one like the last like 10 or something.
But I'm gonna be honest though, he has enough skill to shoot it and knock it down at a 33 or 34% clip to me.
Yeah, he's got a great form for a big guy. Really good form for a big guy. Trying to think, man, that there may be something else that we're working on.
Might be one.
I'm trying to think there's one. I don't think any of them are really bad. That Trey Murphy one is probably the worst, I'd say.
Yeah, but nobody cared about Trey Murphy like that as far as,
Hey, don't be mean.
No, I ain't mean it. I didn't mean it like that. I'm just saying like that would be crazy if you said Steph not gonna shoot 40%. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But
I tell you what, whose hot take did age well? The Michael Porter Jr. one.
Yes, sir.
Okay. That was just basically throwing something against the wall and hoping it would stick.
No, it was not. No,
I want to know.
Give me my props, Carl.
But I want to know what I want to know what made you think that was a percentage.
The playoffs last year.
Okay.
He played good in the playoffs.
He did have a round where
you must have been watching the light on the porch or something.
No, okay, because there was a round, but it was one round. But there was a round where he was shooting in the 30s. But that was one round because I think in the round previous to that, he was shooting it well. I guess he made it. He's right at the end of the day, So it's one of those things, But but as I said, he still when he gets back, I don't know if it's gonna hold up because he only played like 5 games, 6 games.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying if a dude right, but he don't have proof to be right.
Oh my God, Carl.
I'm just saying that's like getting you do a little math problem, you get the answers, but you don't show your work.
Oh, that's a good point.
I'm just playing. No, I give him his props.
That was probably the best. That was probably the best hot take of the show so far. That does it for the show, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, leave a comment, download us on Apple Podcasts, and download us on Spotify. And if you download us on Apple Podcasts, leave a review, leave a star, leave a rating. Please help us rank higher on Apple. And that does it. We will see you guys on Monday morning.
Yes, sir.